Oh, it was easy. Anfield South awaits for Liverpool. There is no doubt that the League Cup will rank fourth in Liverpool's list of priorities this season. Liverpool have, to borrow a phrase, bigger fish to fry, but they are into a final. And clubs like Liverpool do not sneer at silverware. All silverware matters. All silverware is worth winning. You are greedy when you are a super club like Liverpool, and they will be desperate to lift this trophy aloft. They have made it into the final again. Back-to-back finals in the League Cup, and they have a chance to earn their first trophy under new manager Arne Slot. They can also pay homage to their great manager of a bygone era by retaining the trophy that he won them in his final season. Jurgen Klopp won this trophy painfully for me against Chelsea last year, so it would be huge for Liverpool to keep hold of it. And when you see them play, they are sublime. It was so easy for them tonight. There was literally no jeopardy around the game. They were so much better, so much more superior, and I genuinely mean this. In my decades of watching football, in my decades of watching Liverpool play, I don't think I've ever seen a more dominant display from them against a so-called big side. Tottenham are a big club, there's no doubt about that. Tottenham are a significant club, there's no doubt about that. Tottenham are a club who like to sing about having a rich history in cup competitions. They see themselves as a great cup team. You know, when the year ends in one, when they used to sing those songs, they genuinely are a team that have cup tradition. My God, that was so easy. It was the most one-sided dominant display that I think I have seen. Tottenham were abject. From start to finish, abject. They got it so wrong, abject. The manager was all over the place, abject. The players were walking around. They didn't look fussed. They didn't look like there was any urgency. They didn't look like there was any tenacity. And it actually felt like a pointless game. It felt like the referee could easily have ended the game on 60 minutes and everyone would have gone home happy. There was no desperation from Tottenham players to get into that final. There was no desperation from the touchline. There was no moments of magic from the touchline. Postecoglou changing things. The away end was half empty on about 80 minutes. And, you know, I don't blame the Tottenham fans, by the way. The Tottenham fans who have gone up there, they're the people that I feel sorry for the most. They're the most committed. They're the ones that have spent their money. They are the ones that have demonstrated a huge commitment, a huge loyalty to their team. And they are the ones that have been massively let down by those underperforming players. But the game was just over before it had begun. Liverpool were always going to make the final. You know, sometimes when you watch football, you just know. It's quite rare in football, but you know when you just know that the result is already in the bag. And Tottenham created the illusion of jeopardy, the illusion of a cup tie, the illusion that they could win trophy in their second year, mate, but they actually couldn't. And there was never, ever any doubt that Liverpool were going to make it because they were so much better. They wanted it more, and it felt almost like it was a guarantee, like it was written in the stars. And Tottenham didn't turn up. You know, they registered 0 shots on target. 0. They registered 0 shots on target in a second leg semi-final against a team like Liverpool. How could they not have at least mustered, at least done something, found a little bit of rhythm, found a little bit of spark? There was just nothing there. And those fans deserve so much more because it was so poxy. Poxy from the manager, poxy from the players. And the longer that the game went on, the more that you watched it, the more Tottenham's first leg win felt like the shock result of the season. How were Tottenham ever winning this fixture? How were Tottenham ever potentially going through? Because the chasm between the two teams was simply magnificent. There was just, it felt like men against boys. It felt like true professional footballing warriors versus, part-timers. It really did feel that bad because Tottenham were terrible. They were all over the place and they tried to change it up a bit. They tried to park the bus. Postecoglou got it all wrong, unsurprisingly. Like I say, he tried to park the bus, but I think he ended up parking it on double yellow lines. He dropped Porro. He played Archie Gray at right back, which felt wild. And look, I'm highlighting Tottenham issues here. I'm highlighting where Tottenham got it wrong. That's not to say that Liverpool weren't magnificent. That's not to say that Liverpool don't deserve their praise. They massively do. They were sensational. Especially in that second half, they really did take the game to Tottenham. They really did embarrass Tottenham. They really did go for the jugular. And they showed their fans, they showed their manager, they showed each other as teammates that they want this. They're greedy for silverware, and that is exactly what the mentality should be. If you want a sort of microcosm of the game, Just watch Liverpool's third goal. It was such a gorgeous move, and it really did demonstrate quite how brilliant they are at the moment. So many players shone for them as well. Bradley, my God, Bradley shone. What a player. And I tell you what, if you are a Liverpool fan and you were slightly perturbed at the prospect of Trent Alexander-Arnold moving to Real Madrid, I don't think you should be. Bradley is ready. Bradley's up for it. He's everything that you need. And dare I say, he is a better defender than Trent Alexander-Arnold. We could have a debate about what Alexander-Arnold brings. We could have a debate about what Alexander-Arnold as a scouser represents to Liverpool. We could have a conversation about what it would represent for Liverpool to sell one of their prodigal sons, a potential one-club man, a potential Liverpool captain to Real Madrid. There's a lot to discuss and a lot to unpick. But sometimes football's a very simple game. And if we just ask a question, who's the better defender, Conor Bradley, Trent Alexander-Arnold? The answer is Conor Bradley. Conor Bradley doesn't switch off the way Alexander-Arnold does. Alexander-Arnold has a skill set that is unique to him, a skill set that Conor Bradley will not tap into. And Liverpool will have a deficiency in their team if they let Alexander-Arnold go. But they will be a better cohesive defensive unit. There is no doubt about it. I thought he was truly, truly amazing. Szoboszlai, he was excellent. He's so athletic, isn't he? He covers all the ground. He's like a brilliant player. I thought Cody Gakpo was also immense. And he's a really good example, Cody Gakpo, of good management. If you need a case study to prove, to demonstrate quite how good a manager Arne Slot is, obviously there's an easier one to use. You just point at the top of the Champions League or the top of the Premier League table, or the fact that they are still in every competition, which we're going to come on to discuss, or whatever, right? There's loads of things that you could say, loads of metrics to demonstrate quite how good at management Arne Slot is. But sometimes managing your way out of a situation, coaching your way out of a troublesome spot is the archetypal definition of being a good manager. And that is exactly what Arne Slot has done. Liverpool wanted to sign a midfielder. It didn't quite go their way. They were linked with various midfielders over the years. Jude Bellingham, Zubimendi. There's been many examples of players that have been linked with Liverpool that Liverpool ultimately didn't get over the line. What did Arne Slot do? Did he cry about it? Did he whinge? Did he throw his toys out the pram? Did he quit? Or did he find the solution within the camp? Did he coach his way out of a problem in the way that he has made Ryan Gravenberch one of the best midfielders in the league? In the way that Cody Gakpo at various points in his Liverpool career has looked superfluous. He's looked potentially not good enough. Suddenly he is looking like an excellent player. Ryan Gravenberch looked on the periphery at Bayern Munich, looked on the periphery at Liverpool. Suddenly is one of the best midfielders in the league. And I tell you what, Arne Slot, he is a genius. He has the Midas touch. And within his ranks, he has players like Virgil van Dijk, who's now scoring goals for fun. He has players like Mohamed Salah, who are again on the score sheet. And this is where this review of the game is actually going to turn in a direction that Liverpool fans may not like. But I have to ask the question. I think that I can only say what I see. And with Liverpool, all I see is brilliance. I see total and utter dominance. I see a flawless manager. I see a virtually flawless squad. And I see a true belief. And it is all taking place at an entity that is a trophy-winning machine. Liverpool are in what? Their 11th major final in 9 years. So they do it. So the question I have to ask you, and I apologise now, Liverpool fans, because I know you try and ban the Q word. You do not like the Q word being mentioned, but I'm going to ask. How many trophies are Liverpool going to win this season? Because it's getting to the stage where I can't really see them being beat. They are just perfect, aren't they? As a footballing squad, the way that they're doing things, it's perfect. And I think that the conversation is now there. When you're as good as Liverpool are, I think it's legitimate to ask the question, how many trophies will they win this season? They are into the League Cup final. I believe that they will beat Newcastle in a League Cup final. The prestige of the club will carry them over the line in that competition. They will retain the League Cup. So that's one. I also believe that they've already won the Premier League. That's two. The Champions League, nobody would want to play them. You look around Europe, who's going to derail them? Very difficult to see anybody. Of course, it's Europe. Of course, it's difficult. Of course, there's jeopardy. But again, it feels like it's going their way. And they've got Plymouth in the FA Cup. So on the immediate horizon, is it rightful for me to discuss the Q word? Liverpool obviously have had their experiences with this before. And their stellar work in the first half of the season means that we can explore it again. In 2022, they won the League Cup. They won the FA Cup, in fact, didn't they? They won both. First time that had happened since 1993, I think, when Arsenal won both. Playing Sheffield Wednesday in both finals, actually, for the trivia heads amongst you. But That season, 2022, Liverpool finished what? 1 point behind Man City, and Real Madrid beat them in the Champions League final. So they were effectively, 2 games away from winning a quadruple? That was 2022. And ultimately, that was the first Jurgen Klopp team, the end of the first Jurgen Klopp team. This time last year, it happened again. This time last year, Liverpool were flying high. They had genuine aspirations to win all competitions. You know, when they beat us at Wembley, when the kids beat us, when Liverpool fans did that amazing rendition through the halftime of the halftime of extra time, which basically guided those kids and Virgil van Dijk's winner to the trophy. And it felt like winning that League Cup was going to be a platform for further success, both domestically and in Europe last year. Look, it didn't work out. But I don't think that it is wild to talk about it, because this year they don't have to worry about, a Manchester City team like they have had to worry about in previous years. So they haven't got that constant threat. Real Madrid in Europe looks a bit off it. They haven't got to negotiate the African Cup of Nations, which massively had an impact on everything that happened last year for them. You know, when Mohamed Salah was on African duty with Egypt, he didn't play in either leg of the semi-finals last year, and he returned home injured, didn't he? He had that hamstring injury. Now, don't get me wrong, he still had an excellent second half of the season. He's an icon, but he was a shadow of the player that he was before that. So I ask you the question: how many trophies are Liverpool going to win this season? I genuinely mean that. Not much to say for Liverpool. Matthias Tell, I wonder what he thinks of his new team. Mad signing. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How many trophies are Liverpool going to win? I mean, that was the most one-sided affair I think I've ever seen. It was always going to be in the bag from the second that the referee blew the whistle. There is an inevitability about this Liverpool team as they head to Anfield South all over again. Let me know your thoughts. Please give it a like. Please click subscribe. In a bit, yo.